2 days ago I went thrifting for 9 straight hours, which was definitely a mistake. I didn't even intend to do it. I just wanted to go book shopping offhandedly, and it ended up being a whole day ordeal because I didn't want to go home. It was a mistake. Yesterday I was on my back flat for the entire day. I couldn't move around without shooting pains up my spine. So usually a good sign when that happens. Don't even remember what I got really, but I'm surrounded by Goodwill bags, so hopefully it was worth it. These are the books that I ended up getting on the book run. A Vintage, Foundation, and Empire, and then 2 copies of Second Foundation from Asimov. These may stay with me, these may be sold. This one is staying with me, Roger Zelazny's Complete Book of Amber. And then I got these to offset those costs. This is a rare CD. It looks like punk or indie rock or something. I couldn't find anything online for this, but something about the searches made me think that this was like a known guy. And then I got 3 copies of this same CD. These are new factory sealed. It's by a band called Person with a U. These are pretty rare, and these are worth over 30 bucks. I think I saw one that sold for 50. I got 3 of them, so hopefully that covers everything. This will cover everything. I got this for $2. The guy gave me a 50% discount that I didn't ask for. It's in this cardboard sleeve, and it has not for resale. If you ever see this, to my understanding, this not for resale thing right here, this is not legally binding. This is to prohibit like GameStop from flipping it or something. I don't know, but that's just an empty threat as far as I know. So that is worth probably 35 to 50 bucks, and it should have ended there, but I kept going, hopped over to a Goodwill bookstore, and there's clothing and stuff coming up, not just books. This is a Transformers novel. I have said many times that if you sell books on eBay, these pop culture tie-in novels for movies, video games, role-playing games tend to be pretty good candidates for flipping. This one is worth around $17, $18, and I got it for $2. Also got this copy of Temple of Dawn by Mishima for $4, which is a steal. You never find him anywhere in thrift stores. And then a vintage copy of Fantasy Worlds of Peter Beagle. He's the guy that wrote Last Unicorn. I hate fantasy, but I keep trying to not hate fantasy. Went to a library bookstore close by, and they had a whole bunch of RPG books that ended up miraculously not being worth anything. But I got this. This is an old, obscure supplementary manual of some kind for some kind of RPG, and it has writing in it, and the condition is not that great. It has this pull-out insert. Hopefully that's a pull-out insert. This is probably worth around 50 to 75 bucks, and I got it for $1.75. At that point, the scent of blood was in the water, and I just couldn't stop, which is stupid because I have a giant death pile. I made a resolution I wasn't going to go sourcing this week, and I just couldn't stop. It's probably very healthy. So I went to another thrift store. I found this Minority Report, Philip K. Dick. They were running a tag sale. This was, I think, not on discount, or I think it was 25% off actually. It's a Lululemon. And they didn't know that it was a Lululemon, or they don't know what Lululemon is. Here's that stealth logo. You probably already know this, especially if you watch the channel, but most Lululemon pieces, the tops, will have these tags pulled out. They're tearaway tags, and this looks like it might not have even had a tag, but there are these long, thin strips that are really easily pulled off. Most people pull them off, so you're not going to find the logo unless you look for it. It's usually on the back, down at the hem, and the sizing can be a pain in the ass too. With the tops, I've found sometimes they'll list the size in the inside of the hem, especially on the t-shirts. It'll be in the actual stitching. Got this pair of board shorts. These are really lightweight, nice feeling outer known shorts, size 34. If you watch the channel by now, you know Outer Known, one of my favorite brands. It's Kelly Slater's clothing line, and they do collaborations with other brands as well. Complete no-brainer. Have never had a problem selling it ever. This was, let's see, $6. It's a new with tags link sole. I think this is, what is it, Ashworth or Ashford? John Ashworth, yeah, so it's a subsidiary brand of not a very good brand, but they make golf clothing, and it has really good sell-through, especially right around now-ish, and moving forward into the summer. This is going to do just fine, and it's attached to a brewery. I don't know, is that blurry? Of course it is, because it's this camera. 10 barrel. I don't know what the demand is on 10 barrel, but that will flip for sure. And then I kept going. Stopped at a Salvation Army Next. I picked up what you're sitting on right now. It's a new tripod that I got for 13 bucks. I just looked it up on Amazon. It's worth around 50. So seems like a pretty good tripod. It is creating this shadow here, which I'm wondering if is annoying. This is a vintage children's book, and it's not really worth anything, but this art style reminded me a lot of Tony Millionaire, who did a comic series called Sock Monkey that I really love. I found this in there, which I especially love. And I thought that would look nice framed if I just razor that out. And I went to the frame section, I found a frame that will work with it. So this was $4, this was $2, total of $6 for something to, I don't know, hang in the bathroom or something. And I got some books. This one is for me, Alan Dean Foster's For Love of Mother Not. This is the first in his Pip and Flinks series for which he is known. That was probably $2. Here's a Warhammer book. Warhammer, one of definitely the strongest novel categories for resale. There's a ton of Warhammer novels, and most of them are worth nothing, but a high proportion of Warhammer novels are worth something. This, I think, is quite rare. This might have been worth around 70 to 100, I think. And I also got this one, which is worth probably 10 to 15 on its own. Or sorry, this one is worth more. I think this is worth like 30 or 40. The Horus Heresy, and I think I have a couple other ones that are up for sale from the same series that I can maybe just throw this into a new listing with. Then I stopped at a Goodwill, and I normally don't do this, but I found this vintage pair of nylon board shorts from a brand I'd never seen before. It has this kind of Keith Haring type tag. And no comps on eBay, no comps on Poshmark, really nothing online at all except for some forum posts talking about how this is a wakeboarding brand that people really loved when they were growing up and is quite rare. So I figured there's a shot at listing this at like 75 on eBay and having somebody pick it up. This is just going to be a total shot in the dark. It was $7, so a little bit more of a roll of the dice than I normally take with clothing. This is a New with Tags J. Crew shirt, and J. Crew really isn't all that strong anymore. But I've had really good luck selling this specific shirt, this cotton heathered line. A lot of the shirts that I've sold with this tag had faux suede elbow patches. This was $10. Retails for, I don't know, missing. And I got this Fox Racing shirt, button-up plaid shirt for $7 in immaculate shape. I'm not going to price this real high, just want to make a little bit of profit. And I picked up those 3 to cover the cost of this. This was $15, and it's an enameled cast iron skillet in like new condition from the brand Technique. And this is for me. This enameled cast iron, especially in good condition like this, is really pretty hard to find at thrift stores because people just don't donate it that much. And it's especially hard to find in this condition. This is great condition. And I use this all the time, or will. That's a good candidate for resale too, if you can do some local flips on heavy cookware like that. The enameled cast iron is really popular because a lot of YouTubers use it. and people like the aesthetics, and also it's very functional, and it's more functional than just standard cast iron where you have to do the stupid enameling thing where you brush the oil on it and you bake it, and then you can't put water on it and you have to light a candle for it as it dries and sacrifice a virgin to it to get it to not rust. People are so precious about the cast iron, but I like the enameled. Point being, a lot of resale potential with it, especially Le Creuset, which I've talked about on the channel before. That's probably the primo brand. Then I stopped at another Goodwill and got a whole bunch of books, which I'm sure you're thrilled about. First of all, I got this thing for my ruined neck for $6. I've never even seen one of these before. It's kind of neat. The Spider's House by Paul Bowles. Another Paul Bowles. He wrote Sheltering Sky. That's his most famous book. You just don't really find him, or I don't find him all that much, especially at thrift stores. And I've never heard of either of these books, but I figure strike while the iron was enameled. Vintage copy of Martian Chronicles. I'm going to sell this because I have an even vintager copy. And The Ocean of Night by Gregory Benford. Here is a book for resale. This was the find of that Goodwill trip. The End of the Game, a first printing, first edition hardcover with the dust jacket. Shows a little bit of damage. Oh, buddy, I didn't see that. So some really serious condition issues, but very rare book. And these don't show any solds on eBay, but there's a bunch listed active for over $100. And this was just standard Goodwill price, so this is probably $3, maybe $2. It's got some foxing on the edges here. Nope, that's just dirt. So I could probably list that for like 50 or something. And a clothing item. Something about this Goodwill, I never once have had a good run with clothing there at the Goodwill. It's the one out in Santee for all my local fellas and fellarettes. Kathmandu is an outdoor clothing brand that I just kind of learned about. It's fairly upscale and rare. I don't think I've found it before, and this is a nylon merino wool blend, kind of a, I wanted to say tactical, and maybe that would apply, but kind of performance merino. It was $8, and these outdoor performance merino pieces are really easy to sell. That's probably worth 30 to 40 if memory serves. And then I made one last stop at a book off, if you can even believe it. Got this one for myself, and then I got 3 more Warhammer books. Individually, these are not worth all that much, but these are in the Horus Heresy series again. So now I think I have a total of 6 or 7 Horus Heresy books. I might put all these in a big lot, or I might just lot these 3 up together. These were $2.50 each, and I could sell these in a lot for like $30 to $40, hopefully. Oh, and I got suits. So at that Goodwill, the last Goodwill, I found a Burberry London sport coat, 3-button sport coat, tan plaid wool, and paid for it. I got it out to the car, was putting it in the car, and I noticed it had big moth holes in the sleeve that I somehow managed to miss. So I went back in there and kind of pleaded with them, and they allowed me to exchange it for something. This is what I got instead. It's an Armani Collezione. It's a houndstooth plaid wool, 3-button jacket. Ornamental buttons on the cuffs. It's $10. I wouldn't have picked this up, I don't think, had I not been in this situation. But it's okay. I'll probably list it for around 50 to 75. Armani, you would think, would be kind of a no-brainer, but it is a brainer. You must use your brains when it comes to Armani because it's just kind of a glutted brand. And I found this jacket and then did the jacket trick where I toured it through the pants to try to find the matching pair, and I did. And I didn't realize that this Goodwill, for some reason of all the Goodwills, deliberately does not rack the 2-piece suits together. They put them all separately into the jacket and pants section, which is idiotic to me. But this was $10. It's Hugo Boss and a recent tag of Hugo Boss, and this was from Nordstrom, which is not necessarily a good thing. It means it's probably a little bit on the cheaper end. Had it just been the jacket, I would have left it behind, but with the pants that were $8 for a total of $18 for a two-piece Hugo Boss suit, I said yes. I have had pretty good luck selling Hugo Boss suits for around that price point, sourcing them at around $15 and flipping them at like 100. That's just been a pretty predictable maneuver for me. Was that worth it? Probably not. And considering the physical devastation that it wrought, and as you can tell, I'm still pretty exhausted, I think this is one of the fairly obvious, what should be an obvious missing piece of the puzzle of why am I tired and in pain all the time. So maybe sourcing for 9 straight hours is not a good thing. My personal record is 11. I don't think that I can do this anymore, and I don't think that it's smart, and it was not a sound business decision. I should have used the time to list more, but I still have made money, I think, and I got a whole bunch of books. And why not? You know, there's no scarcity on space in my apartment. This isn't a problem at all. Just infinity space and money to pour into books. All right, thanks for watching.